Hello and welcome to the LRM podcast, sponsored by Adrian Flux Insurance. I'm Martin Dominy.
And I'm Steve Miller.
And you join us for an hour of chat about Land Rovers and everything to do with owning them. I had a bit of sad news this week, Stevie.
Did you?
Yeah, where the village I grew up in, there was this old chap who lived there. To be fair, he was old when I lived there, called Doug. And he had a really cool old diesel Series 3 as a pickup, ex-military. And he was like just one of those characters you get in little villages. And lovely bloke. And he used to look after a big bit of land on the outskirts of the village where we would go and ride motorbikes and stuff like that. And in our later years, we'd be able to go off-roading there. And yeah, it was just one of those people that you always saw around. He'd chug around. It had a Perkins engine in it, this Series 3 109.
Nice.
I'll show you a picture of it, actually. And he used to run it on chip oil, and I don't think it ever really had any like tax or MOT or anything like that. But yeah, sadly he passed away, and his sons, I think it was, had sort of given it a bit of a makeover because it never used to look quite that shiny when it was on the road.
It looks like it's got new wheels and tyres or something.
Yeah,
it looks quite low.
Yeah, that's probably because it's got the Perkins in it.
It's like a lowrider 109.
Yeah, good old Doug. He was a lovely bloke and always had he always encouraged kids, because we were young, obviously, too young to go out on the road, to actually get outside and, you know, learn mechanical things. And he was a really nice bloke, so I was a bit gutted that he died. Yeah,
that is a shame when you get characters like that.
Yeah, I think they're...
What makes a character like that, though? You know, it's like, it's uniqueness.
It is a uniqueness. I think people are...
Get many...
I don't know if they are becoming fewer and more far between, but it seems like old boys like that. Do you know what I mean? They're just... Maybe it's you looking through rose-tinted glasses because you're a kid and you look up to these people.
I often think about that, about the characters I've known throughout my life, grandparents and things. But is everyone the same now?
I don't know. Like I say, it might well be.
I reckon you'll be the next character. If you had a bit of land, you'd be the next character.
It got me to thinking, because in the village where I grew up, there was quite a few Land Rovers that I would see as a kid if we went out for a walk or a bike ride or whatever. And, you know, you're sort of like, you're just in awe of them. And I think it's important to try and be that person as you get older, to get more kids into the hobby, if you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
Down one of the roads, there was an orange Stage 1 V8 station wagon, and the same person had a lightweight. And I remember thinking they were really cool as well.
So they were influencers before the word influencer was even invented.
Yeah,
like they were the original pre-social media influencer.
Yeah.
But they would never thought of themselves as that.
Instead of posting...
Like a Frank Dibner type, you know.
I suppose, yeah. They would just think cool stuff you saw out and about. They obviously weren't posting it all over the internet, but yeah, I kind of aspire to be one of those people when, you know, a little, you know, little kid goes by and, oh, look at that Land Rover.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I did. And
I did that.
Like the idea of...
Yeah, I look at all the characters.
Yeah. But, yeah, poor old boy. Rest in peace, Doug. You were a legend. Taught us a lot about driving off-road and fixing stuff.
And to allow people on his land to drive. Like now, you'd have all sorts of manner of issues now.
You would, yeah.
So if you allow someone on your land and something happens, like they have an accident, it's on you.
Yeah, but...
Because you allowed them.
Back when I grew up, but if you snapped your leg in half going up a big hill, that was your problem.
Yeah, but not now. The blame culture, yeah.
Well...
It's the rules have changed.
Just don't get bogged down in that nonsense. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, it's Gaydon Land Rover Show this weekend.
Wow, that's come around super fast.
It has come around quickly. I'm going to go on Saturday. I love Gaydon Land Rover Show. It's one of them where if you're after like things flying through the air and, you know, flames and loud music, it's not for you. But if you like to quietly appreciate some really, really rare Land Rovers and get into the museum, it's awesome.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If you go to Gaydon Land Rover Show, you get free access to the museum as well?
You certainly do.
Included?
Yeah, the British Motor Museum, which is more than just Land Rovers, obviously. There's all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah, I remember going to that. There's like all sorts of British Leyland stuff, all stuff you just don't see. And would you go to the museum ordinarily? It's another reason to go, isn't it?
Definitely.
Like the fact the show's on and the museum.
So in the museum, I'm not going to spoil too much. In fact, you get access to the main museum and also the collection, which is in a different building just across the way, which is where all the the exhibits, if you like, are when they're not in the museum.
Oh, right.
So
Okay.
in the museum, you've got things like the Darien Gap Range Rover, Cuthbertson Series 2.
Yeah.
What else? 101, the Judge Dredd 101, Military 101 with the powered trailer. You've got the, what else? God. Oh, Range Stormer Concept. There's loads of stuff in there. It's really cool.
Yeah. It's a really nice place.
And yeah, like I say, if you wander over to the collection as well, if the museum doesn't blow your mind, that place certainly will, because there's things like Range Rover SV Coupe in there, that two-door Range Rover that never actually made it to production. Buttercup, the big Ford Control recovery truck.
Is Shaun the Sheep's Land Rover in there?
Yes, indeed. In fact, that's one of the main attractions for this
is it?
year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how do I know that? I don't know.
The real life Shaun the Sheep Land Rover off of the TV programme is there.
Right, that's cool.
So if you've got kids that enjoy that, they will no doubt like to have a good look around that.
So they have an arena, don't they, at Gaydon?
They do, yes. There's an arena which clubs will come in and they'll talk about stuff. I remember last year the Holland and Holland Range Rovers. There was a huge lineup of Holland and Holland P38s. It was really, really cool.
You probably won't see that anywhere else, would you, to be fair?
No, probably not, actually. It's just a really, really nice...
Yeah, when I went there, LRM contributor Dave Barker does a bit there, doesn't he?
He does. He'll be there this year. Yeah, definitely. So come along, say hello to him. He'll be doing his thing in the arena.
Oh, right, yeah, cool.
But yeah, JLR Classic are going, JLR Experience. They've often got the Terrapod going. The big sort of man-made off-road course.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to go on, though. It's quite... Have you been on that?
I haven't, no.
Have you never been on the
Never
Terrapod?
been on it. I saw it at Goodwood last year, and they was the setup was enormous. I thought, wow, that looks cool.
Yeah, because they've got like the full setup, and then they've got a smaller one. It's really, really good to get a sense of like what we're actually going up there. It's harder than it looks.
If it's there this year, I'll have a go on it. And they often bring out like some of the newer models, like later shape Range Rover and stuff like that, to go on the Terrapod.
So give me the dates.
The dates are, Steve, I'm so glad you asked me that. It's this weekend, which I believe is the 2nd and 3rd of 2nd and 3rd of May.
Right, fantastic.
Saturday and Sunday. So at the British Motor Museum. So there's lots of cool stuff going on. They've got the Dakar winning Defender.
Right, the new
one.
Yeah, of course.
Range Rover Classic. I think that was there last year as well, actually, because Ian Arthur took it. It's the drivable chassis.
I've driven that.
Have you?
Oh,
what's it like?
Awesome.
Is it like a go-kart, I should think?
It's I drove it around the Packington Hall Estate for Land Rover's 65th birthday.
Oh, right.
And you had to wear a helmet and put your seatbelt on.
It's got roll hoop, hasn't it?
Yeah, but you still had to wear a helmet with that one.
Right.
And I drove it 2.5 miles around the roads and the little track. Really strange to see like everything working. I really liked it. Yeah, I would happily just... I mean, you wouldn't want to go up the A1 in it, but it was fantastic to drive.
Proper.
To see everything working like next to you. If I remember right, it's left-hand drive, isn't it? I'm sure.
Yes.
In my head, I was on the left. Yes,
I'm pretty sure it is. There's a couple of them, but
I've driven one of them.
Yeah, they're very, very cool. But yeah, there's all sorts going to be going on, and yeah, bring your whole family, because adventure playground and stuff for the kids as well, so they don't get bored. Hope to see you there. I have a pocket full of LRM podcast stickers, so if you see me perving over an early 110 or something like that, flag me down and I'll hand you over some goods. Hopefully I'll be there in my 110.
Now that it's sporting possibly a different ratio transfer box.
Well, that's what I did. That was last night's job, yes. So I sort of set out to only remove the old one and got actually further than I thought, but it did highlight to me that my years of doing magazine editing and not being physical in a job every day have rendered my upper body not nearly as strong as it used to be, as I tried to wrestle a transfer box onto the back of a gearbox by myself.
Not ideal.
No. The sort of winning formula, and I tried a few different things, was to get I've got a Clark 3-ton trolley jack, and a Sealy crossbeam adapter. Have you seen these?
Oh yeah. Well, I've tried to use one on. Well, I use one on mine.
Yeah. So they've got like you put your jack foot, if you like, the pad. Put the jack pad on one side, and then the other side there's a threaded piece with a V on it. And when you're using it in normal operation, you put the pad under your diff and you put the V-shaped bit under your axle tube, and it allows you to jack the Land Rover up nice and straight, so it comes up level.
To be fair, that's the one thing with Land Rover axles that is quite annoying, isn't it? Because on the shortest end, there's not a lot of axle to put your normal jack on, is there?
No,
there is, but it gets in the way of the job that you're about to do.
Yeah, the issue normally is if you jack it up under, say, the radius arm or if you jack up under the tube, the jack often doesn't have enough lift. If you jack up under the radius arm, you don't have the space to put your axle stand in.
Yes, I've had that problem.
It's quite annoying.
It is annoying.
This crossbeam adapter and like I say, I use it with a 3-ton Clark jack, solves all those problems. And you can get them both from machinemart.co.uk. So head over there and treat yourself, because it does make life so much easier.
They're not like a busting lot of money either, from memory.
No, I mean...
Put you on the spot there to look at the price.
You
but
really
they're not,
have.
You need to head on the website, but I know they're not.
No, I mean, for the amount of
money.
Convenience, if you're working on your Land Rover a lot, or you've got more than one Land Rover, they are well worth investing in. And you can get them both from Machine Mart. I know Sealy used to sell the crossbeam separately, but now that's on the website as well. So you can order both at the same time and save yourself a bit of postage. So yes, I fashioned myself a bit of a bracket using the crossbeam adapter and wrestled the jack underneath the Land Rover on my driveway, because
a gravel driveway.
It was horrendous.
Perfect working environment. Yeah.
It was bad. And then, so I got the transfer box on the jack, lifted it roughly in place, and then leant over the passenger side, because you unscrew the panel in the middle of the seat box.
Yes, yeah.
Sort of wedged my head on the driver's seat so I could see what I was doing, and then used my arms to lift the transfer box and slide it onto the back of the gearbox. It's not a job I wish to repeat.
Not pleasant at all.
No. The key is to, ideally have more than one person, so you can, have someone help you lift it. Or you can use like an engine crane through the passenger door and you lift it with the crane, but I just thought, just grin and bear it. And it is in, but I just need to connect all the speedo cable and the diff lock linkages and stuff like that. But hopefully the 110 will be at Gaydon this weekend. I'll be able to cruise there in silence at 70 miles an hour.
Hardly silent. Let's just manage your expectations now.
Well, a lot more silent than it is at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty loud, isn't it? When we went down the road the other day, 50?
Yeah,
50 is like
it will do 60, but it does not enjoy it. No. You wouldn't want to run an old diesel engine at that sort of RPM for extended periods of time. So,
but those the transfer box you've just taken out, aren't they in quite high demand? Those with big wheels and tyres and stuff.
Yeah, so they're a bit niche. The 1.6 to 1 ratio is a very, very low gear, and they were fitted to a lot of ex-military or military Land Rovers as they were, and early 110s like mine with the 2.5 naturally aspirated, because they didn't have the power under the bonnet to pull higher gearing, especially if you were pulling a trailer as well. So they basically geared it right down to make up for the fact that they had no power. But yeah, people with sort of like 35-inch or 37-inch tyres.
Like 900/16 XCLs or something.
Oh, imagine.
Yeah.
Basically, if you've got huge tall tyres and sort of not tons of power, you fit the 1.6 to 1 ratio, and it brings everything back down to a much more usable sort of RPM. So they are kind of sought after by the right people, but there's not tons of people fitting 37-inch mud terrains anymore, if you know what I mean.
No, that's a shame.
So, it's an interesting one. In fact, this leads us on beautifully to, I know someone who will be swearing at us for holding such a question, but Will Ames has been in touch, a previous question asker on the podcast.
If you're thinking of going off-roading, did you know that most standard insurance policies won't cover you if your Landy gets damaged? That's where our sponsor Adrian Flux comes in. They can include off-roading and green laning cover on your Land Rover insurance policy, Perfect for those who like to push their 4x4 to the limit. Just search Adrian Flux Land Rover Insurance for more information, or call them directly on 0344 728 0417 for a quote.
With a tyre related question. So are you ready for a little bit of tyre trivia?
Yes, I am.
Splendid. Well, Will says, and again, this is sort of, he labels his email Tyre Dilemma. He says, I'm still playing catch up on the podcast, and he rues the day that he's left over and doesn't have any left to listen to. Keep up the great work. I especially enjoy the banter between you and Steve. I've got a 2008 Defender 110 county station wagon, fitted with standard steel wheels and 750/16 Michelin Latitude tyres.
Oh, yeah.
So like road tyres.
Yeah. I've owned those tyres.
They're quite good, actually.
Yeah. They're very quiet on the road.
They are. Proper road tyre, but yeah, very, they make a Defender civilised.
Yeah, they do.
He says, I've had 2 MOT advisories, but the tyres, on tyres, but they're no longer available. I didn't know they'd gone out of production, to be perfectly honest.
Do you know where you'll find them? At one of our spares days, and this is not an advert for a spares day. They are quite often there, those tyres.
Yes.
People took them off when they were new.
True.
To fit other tyres and never put them back on.
That's a good point. You just have to check the date codes on them, because if they're old, then you're not really any further ahead.
No, but it's all about condition and where they've been stored, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
A lot of the time. But they do come up a lot, those tyres.
They do. So Will is saying, what are my options for new tyres? He says he's looked at the General Super All Grip and the Michelin XZL. He says they're fine for series Land Rovers, but are they any good for everyday use on a Defender? He says he likes the tall and narrow 750s, and he doesn't really want to go to 235/85s like what you find on the alloy wheels.
Like I've got, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't really want to take his steel wheels off. He says, I've owned almost all Land Rover models, from a Series 1 107 station wagon to a TD5 Discovery, with a CSK Range Rover and a 101 in between.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Very jealous.
Yeah, actually, yeah. CSK Range Rover.
So he says he knows a bit about the subject, but he's struggling with choice of tyres. What do you reckon then?
What remind me, the tyres you have at the moment?
I've got the General Super All Grips.
But you're really happy with those?
I am over the moon with them, actually.
And they're 750s?
They are 750s. So the General Super All Grip came in 2 different types. The old style one was a cross ply, which is...
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
Even I know that.
They look, don't get me wrong, they look awesome, and they're super aggressive, and they look great on like an old Trialer or something like that. But the ones I've got, which you can still buy brand new, are the radial Super All Grips, which are still quite an old school mud terrain pattern, but they look perfect on a Defender. And they're probably one of the quietest, I suppose you could call them a true mud terrains, I've ever actually driven. I've not used them in real hard-going off-road conditions yet, but there must be a reason they still make them. You know, they're really nice on the road.
Yeah, but I think they'll be mostly good enough for most of the time.
Yeah.
For like when you say extreme mud, when was the last time you went in such extreme mud that your tyre let you down?
Well, you're right, and to be fair,
I don't know what
Will says,
case.
The Defender ventures no further off-road than the New Forest gravel car park.
Oh, well, there you go.
So they'll be fine for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
The other option you've got is, as you say, the Michelin XZL, which is a successor to the mighty XCL.
See, I think there should be an appreciation society for XZLs.
No, I don't. They're not worthy of it.
Really?
Yeah. I like the XZL.
I do.
It's probably
a good-looking tyre.
It's a good-looking tyre. It's probably more extreme. Well, it is more extreme than the General Super All Grip. Noisier on the road. It's a bit skinnier, so I don't know what it would be like if you had to come to a stop quickly in the wet.
Would I be... The XZL is a sidewall, like, extra strong.
Yeah, they are really tough sidewalls.
Yeah, because they've got that bead, they've got that double bead around the edge, haven't they?
Yeah.
So
you can let a lot of air out of an XZL before it changes.
Yes, if you were in like a really rocky, like green lanes, say up in Yorkshire or Wales or somewhere, they'd be quite good because they'd be quite strong.
Yes.
Like when you cut your tyre open on...
Indeed, Strata.
On Strata.
They look brilliant on Defenders. They were offered as an OE fitment on steel wheels on Defenders when they were new.
So I didn't know that. I just assumed they were always military.
No, you could get them new on
I didn't
Defenders.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're awesome. Man.
they are great. If I was driving every day, I would still go for the Generals over them.
Yes.
They're just
I've been in yours with those Generals, and they're decent.
the ride quality.
It's about the ride.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
And quiet.
Yeah,
I would choose those.
I would go Will, General, Super All Grips, Radials, 750s. Greg's got them now as well on his 90.
Oh, on my Primer Grey 90.
Yes, yes. He really likes them. And they look right. So I would do that.
There you go.
There you
Consumer
go.
advice given.
You are very welcome. What else is new with you then? Your bulkhead bar is in, is it not?
Oh, yes.
You've done things.
I have done things. Now that the tub is in position on the project, I decided to final fit. Do you know, there's a nice little couple of hours in the workshop. I went to fit the bulkhead bar, and then I realised actually there's similar metals to be conscious of here. Because you've got the aluminium new tub and the steel of the bar. So I made some gaskets. Luckily, you had some of that YRM. Like it's like neoprene.
Self-adhesive neoprene.
Yes,
isn't it?
with like a yellow sticky back. And I cut some gaskets and made nice little holes. Immaculate gasket cutting, I have to say.
Very good.
Quite time consuming because there's quite a few points in which it touches the tub.
Right.
You've got your 2 points in the middle, plus either side of the...
You've got the big pads, haven't you? Sandwich on
either side of that. So I've made quite a few gaskets, fitted that, and it's just like, all of a sudden it's like the project starts to look like a 90 now.
Very exciting. It does look great with the tub on. I know we touched on it last week because we were sat in your kitchen looking at it.
Yes, we were. We just fitted it then, hadn't we, when we recorded...
last week. Yeah, definitely.
My house. Back on the salmon sofa.
We are. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to explain where we were at the beginning. But yeah, back on the salmon sofa. Yeah, it looks quality. You're having slight reservations, I believe, about your choice of power plant now. We went down a bit of a rabbit hole.
Oh, no.
Because the thing is, as Ian pointed out, the quality of this build is so high. Do you want to fit a TDI that's been sat under half a tarpaulin for 5 years?
Yes, I know there's nothing wrong with the engine.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, right, with any project vehicle that takes longer than you ever thought it would.
Yeah.
Because your tastes and the needs for the car change as time goes on.
Sure.
So now, like, I'm thinking, well, I don't need a daily driver 90 because I've got that in my TD5. And I love the TD5 still so much that I can't imagine parting with it.
Right.
Even though this was always going to be the replacement of that.
Okay.
But I'm now thinking, it needs a V8 in it. Because now I no longer own a V8 because the Jag has gone, as we've touched on before.
Yeah. You're V8-less.
And it's tax and MOT exempt.
Mm.
And then you think, for that pure refinement and loveliness, wouldn't that suit a V8? But that would put the project back so far.
Yeah.
That do I just go and fit the diesel now and be done with it?
To be honest,
Because I could always revisit it. If I've built a car for life with everything, one day I might just potentially save a bit of money and say, right, it's time for a V8.
I think the sort of thing. I think it's mainly the cosmetics of that 300 TDI.
Yeah.
Because it's been outside, the pulleys are rusty and there's a bit of fur on the alley and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think a good afternoon scrubbing, like getting those pulleys back, rubbing them down, making them black again, would make that look 10 times better.
Would you take the pulleys off to paint them?
Yeah. Maybe not the crank pulley because that's a bit of a pain, but certainly your alternator pulley, your power steering pulley, all that stuff.
I need a puller for them, don't I? To get them
No. No.
They just come off.
Yeah.
Oh, would they?
Okay. It's very, very easy. And
I'll do that then.
yeah, if you get some, just get the white fur off the aluminium and give it a bit more. I know you degreased it, but give it a bit of a clean where it needs it.
That's why it's furred up a little bit, even just being in a damp garage.
It's got no oil and
There's
grease
no oil
in it.
protecting it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why it's furred up, just being in a pure
Yeah, just
winter doing the damp. But yeah, it's kind of like where the car's gone now, or where it's going, and I have an absolute vision for it. I know exactly what that's going to look like at the end, and it's going to be superb. Other than a couple of people guessing correctly the wheel type.
Guess incorrectly.
No, guessing
Oh,
correctly.
really?
Yeah. A couple of people have said to me, "I think I know. Is it these?" I'm
sent.
like, yes, it is.
I sent you a link to them the other day, didn't I? They look so good.
Devon Defenders.
Yeah.
Coming to LOM Live and Fest, actually.
Legends.
The wheel and tyre packages as well.
They are one of the...
He puts some really nice wheel and tyre packages, and I almost daren't look.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I nearly, the other day, just ordered them.
Really?
But then I thought, how crazy. But then I got the bill for my house repairs, so the brickwork, and that paid to that.
Put that back a bit.
Yeah, I was spending a bit of money on... You can't live in a damp house on a dry Land Rover, can you?
Yeah, no.
So I'm having to kind of
prioritise.
The indoor jobs done.
It will be. That I'll be so jealous if you get them. They're so nice. Devon Defenders, though, I can never walk past his stand without having a decent look, because there's like the leaps and bounds that Land Rover wheel styles have come on now is ridiculous. You can get like Wolfs and Ross styles in any width you want.
Yeah, and offsets and things.
The alloys are just fantastic, and they're just I can't think of many other automotive scenes where people will see a certain brand of tyre and be like, oh yeah, he knows where he's spent some money there. He knows what he or she's doing. Do you know what I mean?
But I've also totted up what this vision will cost.
Yeah.
It's like...
The price is long forgotten when the guilty is remembered, Steve.
What marketing crap have you been listening to?
Yours.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I might as well. Yeah. But I see it's an investment still.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what the vehicle's worth if you're not going to sell it.
Exactly.
So, like, yeah, it's happening. Someone actually did guess incorrectly the other day. He said, I do hope you'll put in chrome 8 spokes on it. Which, actually, that I would never think of that.
No.
And I
don't think it's for that.
No, it won't be those.
No. Unfortunately, I'm keen for an 8-spoke. Maybe not in chrome, but
back in our day, you had a choice of chrome 8 spokes, silver modulars, white 8 spokes, Ross styles that had been perhaps repainted. That was it.
But yeah, thanks to the likes of Devon Defenders, you've got a lot more choice.
And of course, 4x4 tyres.
Of course, absolutely.
Not forgetting those guys, because they supply lots of wheels and tyre packages
and sponsors of this podcast.
Yeah,
indeed.
Yeah.
So there's
no shortage of outlets for
never
wheels
been
and tyres.
More choice. It's all good. Oh, talking of being unsure what to do with an engine, we've actually had another listener email. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would.
This is from Caleb Bowkett. He says, hi both, I'm hoping you can help me figure out the next steps on my latest project. I'm a 24-year-old who's been Land Rover mad since a very young age. In fact, Land Rover was my first words. Fair play. He says, at 16, I bought a 1986 Land Rover 90 from Hedge to get running, ready for when I passed my test the following year. Got a bit carried away and have rebuilt a Discovery 200 TDI and fit into it. Done lots of mods. Then I became a father, and the 3 front seats in the 90 weren't cutting it, so I bought a 300 TDI Defender 110 County Station Wagon, which used to belong to my dad's employer, which was the first Land Rover I ever drove. And he's going to do some mods to that, but he gets to the crux of it. He says, I recently managed to achieve a childhood dream and buy my dream truck, an ex-military 1955 86-inch Series 1.
Nice.
The Series 1 has a lovely patina, which I'll keep in the restoration progress, but my main problem is the engine. He says it's been fitted with a later 2.25 petrol, but I feel that will be a bit gutless on the hills where I live. I'm contemplating, since the original 2-litre petrol is long gone, fitting a 3.5-litre Rover V8 while keeping the outside original. Although I enjoy modifying my Land Rovers, I don't want to do much with the Series 1 other than change the engine. Some people I've shared this with have been rather unimpressed due to its heritage, but my thinking is that the truck would simply rust away if I wasn't restoring it anyway, so what is the harm in changing the engine? I'd be keen to know your opinion, and what are your thoughts on running the 3.5-litre V8 while maintaining the original axles? As for me, keeping the original narrow track is vital. Many thanks, Caleb. What do you reckon?
I'm steering towards the V8.
Yeah, me too.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I totally get it.
There's no point having a Land Rover that you just resent using because it's not fit for purpose for where you live.
Yeah.
Basically build the car that works for you. It's your Land Rover. You've saved a Land Rover.
Yes, definitely.
It was going to rot away. Absolutely. It's down to what you want, not what someone else wants.
It depends on how much restoration it needs as well to an extent. Because if the bulkhead is absolutely pristine, I would possibly feel slightly bad about cutting the footwell about.
Because you would, you'd have to butcher that.
You have to, narrow the passenger side a bit to make space for it. But I would go down the route of fitting a V8. I think, given from a fuel consumption point of view, they really don't use that much more than a 4-cylinder petrol, and they're so much more fun to drive.
Yeah, and actually, I've seen the series ones with V8s in them that look like original, and if it's done nice,
Dave Barker's has got a V8.
of course,
It's an ex-trialer, but it's got a V8.
Yeah, when they're done right and with thoughts, and they look like, you always want to put that V8 in it and make it look like Land Rover did it.
Yeah, you want to do a neat job.
And let's be honest, right? If you cut the footwell passenger side and you fabricate it, it's only metal.
Yeah.
If you fabricate it back.
Yeah, it can, yeah.
Nothing's irreversible. You can go and buy another footwell and put it back original.
In fact, the Schulheifers, Julian and his sons, Finn and Jake, are putting a V8 in a Minerva at the moment. So check out their Instagram and Facebook, Schulheifer Restorations. They're doing a lovely job on that. I don't think I've ever seen a V8 Minerva before.
I don't think I have either.
But it's essentially a Series 1.
Yeah.
So might pick up some tips from there. But no, I don't think you should be shy to change the engine at all.
We should have asked. In fact, I know Jack Dobson should have answered that question.
Yeah, I really need to get him on. I've sort of spoken to him about it, but getting time frames and stuff to line up. He has actually made noises about coming to Fest, but we haven't.
Has he?
He has. So
he's not going to be putting his flight through expenses to us, is he?
Well, I don't know.
Because
I don't know. It would be great to have him at Fest.
It would, yeah.
Because
he came to Billing years ago, didn't he?
That would have been before my time.
Yeah. He was there.
Top guy. I like Jack.
Yeah, legend.
He's got a great taste in engines and wheels. V8s and 8-spokes.
So basically, your Series 1 would have chrome 8-spokes and a V8 in it.
Oh, sorry, you've only answered half the question here. So yes, put a V8 in it, but you do mention axles as well. My understanding, I'll be honest, of all the Land Rovers that exist, my understanding of Series 1s isn't up there. I'm not an expert on them. But I do know that you can fit Series 3 axles to them with minimal work, and it doesn't change the track width that much. So for ease of parts availability and ease of working on them, I would be tempted to chuck Series 3 axles on it and use a 109 front axle, so you've got the twin leading shoe brakes. Because with a V8, you are going to want a bit of
you do need a bit of stopping power, yeah.
And you won't lose if you keeping your standard rims, you won't lose.
The half shaft's stronger in a Series.
So on the back, I don't know, like I say, I'm not sure on the model years, but they used a very different, like semi-floating axle design where the half shaft takes some of the load from the wheel bearing on the Series 1, whereas Series 2 and 3, they did away with that and went fully floating. So they are stronger and they're much easier to get bits for and much easier to work on. So for that reason, I'd keep the original axles, obviously.
Yeah, put them in a shed. If you've got a bit of storage, don't ever get rid of, get rid of stuff.
You could sort of kill two birds with one stone by putting Series 2A or 3 axles on, get bigger brakes, get, cheaper bits and more serviceable.
But then you'd have to fit bigger wheels, wouldn't you?
No.
Wouldn't you?
No. Series 1 wheels will go straight on.
Over those bigger...
Yeah, they're still a drum, so they'll still go straight on.
I thought the drums were bigger.
They are bigger, but it was a
series... it still fits?
Yeah, it was still physically
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No worries there.
There's a school day then.
Yeah.
I've never done that conversion. I've never done anything like that. So
I would do that, to be perfectly honest with you, Caleb. And that sounds like an awesome project. So when you get stuck into it, please do send pictures and details to editorial@lrm.co.uk, because That sounds like a perfect candidate for a work in progress feature.
Yeah, I love the work in progress.
Yeah, we've had a few actually
Yeah.
since I sort of last mentioned it on the podcast, and I love to see them. One of my
Real.
favourite sections.
Yeah, it is, because it's real, it's relatable. Everyone's got similar content, similar projects on the go, haven't they?
We had exactly that. We had a nice influx of messages as well about our 100th episode, which was the last one. People saying, yeah, happy birthday, etc.
This is number 101. We should have done a 101 special.
Who says we can't?
We'll start right now.
We'll start right now because
Oh, have we? Okay.
in the latest issue of Land Rover Monthly, Greg King has been to 101 parts.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned that last week.
Yeah, I'm mentioning it again because I'm so excited about the feature.
Because I said I shouldn't mind a 101, but I did resist the temptation to go actually searching in the classifieds.
Yes, indeed.
I have not done that.
Well, Greg's been to visit 101 parts and he's seen all around the business and what they fabricate and what they do, power steering upgrades, disc brake upgrades, all that sort of stuff. And I believe they're coming to LRM Live and LRM Fest.
Oh, nice.
A plethora of 101s for you to pore over.
I do like them.
We'll have to get them in the arena and have a chat because they're such impressive things to see in real life, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that would probably, if you were like a kid now, you're talking about
Yeah.
your mate, a 101 would leave the biggest impression on you, I think. As a child.
Definitely. They're just there's just nothing else like them, really, is there? Certainly with a Land Rover badge, anyway. I've got a lot of time for a 101, and you can see one at Gaydon. They've got a few different types at Gaydon, and of course, visitors will bring their Land Rovers to show. So you won't be short of 101 content at Gaydon. So see you there on Saturday.
Finding the right parts for your Land Rover or Range Rover shouldn't be an off-road challenge. At bmh4x4.com, we've built a smarter way to get you back on track. Our new website is now live, the simple, fast and reliable way to find the parts and accessories you need. Supplying quality parts for Defender 1983 to 2016, Discovery 1, 2, 3 and 4, Range Rover Sport 2005 to 2013 with Range Rover P38A and L322 coming soon. All parts are backed by expert knowledge, quick delivery and a 2-year quality guarantee. Visit bmh4x4.com, built by enthusiasts for enthusiasts.
Would you like another question?
We've got more?
Yeah. Oh, we got
Right.
stacks. We're not going to go through them all this episode. We're going to talk about other stuff in a bit. But Tom Ewing has been in touch. He says, "Hi chaps, great work on the podcast and congratulations on 100 episodes. A couple of years back, I accidentally stumbled on my current family wagon and general workhorse, a 2006 Discovery 3 with the lesser spotted 4.4 V8 petrol engine and, crucially, in S-spec trim. I bought it for a smidge over £3,500. I absolutely love it. After hearing so many horror stories about D3s, the admittedly thirsty petrol seems a good solution to the well-documented mechanical failings of the diesel. Plus, the less complicated S-spec gives far fewer electrical components to go wrong and keeps things very utilitarian. I've only ever seen one other for sale in this spec, which, like mine, was also an ex-police vehicle. So anyway, questions for you. Are there any other slightly niche offerings and spec combos across the LR range that you've spotted on your travels? Any examples of slightly left field stuff that people should take a closer look at? Cheers, Tom." That's a great question, Tom. I would start by saying that when we had our Rip and Auto Jumble a couple of weeks ago, I've never seen so many petrol V8 Discovery 3s in one place.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird,
They
isn't it?
sound so good.
They sound great. And
You expect them to be a diesel, don't you?
You can
make assumptions. They wore off.
They don't. As soon as one comes towards you, you're like, that's not a TDV6. And then, sure enough, V8 badge on the back.
Yeah.
I really like V8 Disco 3s. They're really nice. I would like one.
A lot.
I didn't know. It's the first hearing about an S-spec one. I didn't know the police used them, to be perfectly honest.
No, I don't know much about, like I said before, that like the police spec vehicles.
No, but certainly, yeah, an S spec one must be quite a thing. Like cloth interior, not that many options, but a V8 under the bonnet sounds lovely.
But that'll be in a lower tax bracket, as well, wouldn't it?
No,
no.
No, it's an 06, so it's probably high tax. You could get them in the lower tax bracket, though.
Which is killing a lot of these cars off, unfortunately, isn't it? Because in the UK now, it's nearly £800 for the tax bracket.
For 05 onwards.
Yeah.
March 2006 onwards, sorry. I think
that's right.
They go up astronomically. But also, yes, it's annoying. No one wants to pay it, but spread out over a year is an extra tank of fuel here and there, isn't it?
The prices at the moment, half a tank of fuel.
Yeah, true.
Really?
I think the best thing we can do is, and again, no one wants to pay tax, but if we do keep scrapping them, there won't be any left, and that's probably what the government wants. So I say pay it and use your Land Rover and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's your
stick it to the man.
Yeah, it's your 2 fingers up to the authority.
And if you can do that with V8 soundtrack, all power to you.
Yeah, they are very nice sounding things.
Yeah, they drive beautifully. They're so smooth.
I believe I've driven a V8 Discovery 3 at one of the Land Rovers, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, silky smooth.
Yeah, gorgeous things. But as far as your question goes, Tom, about niche offerings in the Land Rover range that we've spotted on our travels, that is a fantastic question. A certain few spring to mind. The first one being it's actually a CVC registered car, so ex-factory car, 4-litre manual P38. They are really nice to drive. So you've got 5-speed R380 manual gearbox, 4-litre engine, V8 obviously. They're so unlike any other P38 that's automatic. It's odd, but they're really quite engaging to drive.
Yeah, I don't think I've driven one, but
I'm not sure how well they would have sold because it kind of takes the point out of having an automatic.
I think an auto is so much nicer than a V8.
Yeah,
really, because it's like sedate.
It was the rustiest P38 I've ever seen. You know, P38's generally quite corrosion resistant.
Yeah, I was going to say I've never really seen it. Watched them.
This thing was a sieve. We had it up on a ramp, and we looked underneath, and it was just absolutely. It was full restoration job, but it drove lovely.
So not really worth doing.
Well, CVC car to the right person, it would.
Yeah.
For rarity and sort of collectability, I suppose it probably has been restored, but I don't know the rest of the reg. I can just remember it was on the CVC plate. That was cool. 2-litre petrol Evoque, bit of an underdog. Quite like them.
So the 2-litre petrol
Si4.
Yes. Yeah.
They're all right. They're I remember PDIing a few at the dealer. It didn't sell in huge numbers in the UK because everyone was nuts about diesels, but they're a nice revvy, smooth engine. In fact, when I was at Muddy Mods last week to have my clutch and flywheel done on my Freelander 2, which will be appearing in a tech feature of an upcoming Land Rover Monthly, don't miss that. Andy Milne was there with his Si4. He's got a modified Si4 3-door Evoque. Really cool.
Yeah, I remember that he unveiled it at that vehicle at LRM Live a couple of years ago.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Where he'll hopefully be returning. In fact, he is returning this year.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
I asked him.
He had messaged me actually to say he was coming.
Yeah, it's a really cool. His sort of like, I like the juxtaposition of his Evoque because it's quite. They obviously have like a lower roof line and a more sleek body line with a 3-door, but it's lifted and it's got quite chunky sort of all-terrains on it, and it looks really smart.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it made me stop and look, and when I was with my wife Louise, she looked at it and was like, "Oh, we made this stop and look. This is different."
Evoques generally, whether it's 3 or a 5-door, they respond really well to a few little mods. They look like a totally different vehicle.
But you don't see very many modified ones at all unless you come to a show.
No, that's true.
You don't really see them out in the wild, do you?
Not all the time. No, you don't. Not modified ones, especially.
No.
Do you know what? I'm actually surprised Discovery Sports early ones haven't been modified yet. Like, people haven't really picked them up with aftermarket stuff. Because they would be
not even
brilliant.
Muddy Mods.
don't believe so. I mean, I think the stuff that crosses over between Freelander 2, Evoque and Disco Sport, probably, but they haven't been doing like bespoke parts because the demand has to be there first.
Of course, yeah. You have to make so many to make it worthwhile.
Exactly. And obviously, because of the architecture of Evoque and Freelander 2 are far more similar than those two and Discovery Sport.
Okay.
So, but I'm just shocked that more people don't use them for green laning and stuff like that, really.
Perhaps because the Ingenium engine never lasted long enough to get it modified. We might have to edit that out.
We just had to go there, didn't we?
Well, you know, it's been a week for engines, hasn't it?
I actually heard someone doing 2-litre petrol timing chains on an Ingenium the other day.
Oh.
Well, I thought they were pretty bulletproof, but apparently they're prone, not maybe as much as the diesels, but someone was replacing 2-litre petrol timing chains, so they're not completely immune to it. I don't know.
You just don't know how it's been driven or serviced, do you?
No, we're not going to linger on Ingeniums because I know we dog on them quite a lot, and I'm keen to not do it. Any other niche Land Rover offerings that sort of fly under the radar, like underdogs, if you will, that are actually brilliant, but no one really talks about them?
You know your 4x4. You've chosen every upgrade, every bolt-on with purpose. So when it comes to tyres, chunkier, wider, more capable for the conditions, you want the perfect fit. Not just any tyre, your tyre. That's why you'll choose 4x4tyres.co.uk, the wheel and tyre specialists, trusted by Land Rover owners and serious off-roaders alike. Whether you're upsizing, overlanding, making your Defender look the part, or your Discovery turn heads, we'll guide you to the right set. With over 800 fitting locations across the UK, from online to on-road, we've got you covered. Browse by vehicle, wheel size or brand. 4x4tyres.co.uk. The right fit, the right place, the right price.
I was just thinking of like stuff that you don't see anymore, like a VM engine classic Range Rover.
Yeah.
The Italian VM engine.
Actually a great example because everyone, I mean, the infamous Top Gear review, which really did not help the reputation of the VM diesel.
Which you can find on Greg's YouTube page.
Yes, indeed. My Primer Grey 90 on YouTube.
Yes.
Head over there and check it out.
That is a terrible. But there was something wrong with that specific car.
There was, which was why it was so useless when they reviewed it. But yeah, I don't believe I've ever driven one. I've been around one, a VM diesel. I went to look at buying one actually, but it was far worse than the advertiser made out. I don't think they're as bad as. I think the problem with the VM was a few years later, the 200 TDI came out, and in comparison, it looked rubbish.
Mm.
It was because they're like a marine engine. They got individual cylinder heads and things like that. So, and the 200 is just the most legendary Land Rover engine ever made. So it was never going to.
Until the TD5 came out, of course. But
it was never going to stand up. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. But the VM actually, yeah, it might be all right. That's a good underdog.
Yeah, not an MPI Discovery.
So I've got caught some flack online. I was promoting a feature we'd done, Gary Pusey had done, in fact, in the classic section on the MPI Discovery, and I called it a sales flop. And people didn't like that. And I thought, well, it wasn't that, it didn't sell that strongly. You know, I think that's a fairly accurate way of describing it. But there must be some die-hard MPI owners out there because they did not enjoy my my description.
Have you ever been in one?
Yeah, my friend owned one, actually.
No, I've never been in one.
They're all right.
Yeah, no, I think that's... Yeah, I don't really have a lot of experience with like the underdog Land Rovers, really. Most of the stuff is mainstream.
Yeah, I get you. Ooh, talking of, I was on just a second ago, I was on about modifying Discovery Sports.
Yes, and the fact that we've not seen one.
That reminds me, in fact, you will love this. So Darren Letts, who's been in contact with us a few times about the podcast, he has a very smart Defender, but he's really caught the Land Rover bug. He has gone and bought himself a Freelander 2. He says, "Hi chaps, me again. You might remember my last email when we provided our red Defender to a couple to use for their wedding. And I mentioned at the time I was considering getting a Freelander 2 for green laning and some off-roading to save the Defender from getting too scratched up.
Who would have thought that?
I know.
That you would use a Freelander to
Isn't it
save a
weird?
Defender
It's-
off-road.
Yeah. How times change,
Yeah.
Steve.
God, we need to get with the program, don't we?
He says, I've now done it, and here it is. He has done an amazing job. I'm going to use one of his photos for Month in Pictures in the mag, so keep an eye out. It's a very late facelift, 2013 in Santorini black. It's an SD4 XS, so good trim level, full leather, and relatively low mileage. But look at the colour scheme and the mods he's done on that. It's gone for like John Player Special sort of theme, you know, the old Formula One cars, the black and gold.
That is so cool.
Isn't it? So he's lifted it. He's put, he's got the original wheels and he's had them powder coated in, like I say, like a gold colour. He's put some nice all-terrains on it. It's got Muddy Mod snorkel on it, light guards, extra lights, roof rack. It just looks really smart. There it is with some mud on it.
That is really lovely.
Don't they look wicked?
Doesn't that? Yeah.
I think that's the future. But I do find it funny, as you said, that he's bought a lovely late model high spec Freelander 2 to use as a green laner to keep his Defender nice. It seems
It's just
backwards.
Yeah, but not. I mean, it just goes to show you that. But one's worth more than the other.
100%. Yeah, we know why. We know why he's done it. But yeah, it just sounds funny to say it out loud. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That 302 is nice.
definitely. Yeah,
10
like
out
I
of
say,
10 for that effort.
it's nice to see someone sort of thinking outside the box with a colour scheme and like mixing it up a little bit. Because for a long time, I suppose style is low on the priorities list of a lot of people, but I really like what he's done with that. It's the black and gold is perfect. It looks really smart.
That's what I thought you could do with your 302.
I suppose bronze would work with dark green. That'd look quite cool.
It would, yeah.
Like a matte bronze, maybe. That'd be
Really?
smart, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Do you think?
Who would do such a thing?
I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I went camping again the other day.
Oh, I saw that. Well, you had like a campfire and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the invite?
What's the point of camping? You're in Yorkshire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where's the invite?
Oh,
So-
it's in Yorkshire. For third weekends on the trot.
You are basically a full-time Yorkshire person now. Yeah.
And what? There's no better county, some would say.
Really?
I love Yorkshire.
I do like Yorkshire.
Yeah.
But God's own country, as everyone who lives in Yorkshire says, and fair play to him. But yeah, I went camping and had a nice big fire, did some dinner, discovered a new favourite camp meal, fajitas, the ultimate one-pot meal.
Okay.
So picture this.
It's not your typical barbecue fodder, though, is it?
No, I fancy something different. So we had, I got like a, stainless steel like mess tin.
Yep.
Cut your chicken up.
Yep.
Oil in the tin. Put the chicken in. Let that brown up. Peppers, onions, lots and lots of seasoning. Mix it all up. Keep stirring it. Keep it nice until the consistency is correct. And then,
And the chicken's cooked, of course.
well, yeah, obviously, get a little bit of medium rare chicken. Toss it into a tortilla and eat it. So you've got one pot to wash up and a knife
Yeah, so that's a lot to be said for that.
and no plates.
So I presume that at LRM Live, your catering manager,
Catering manager,
Yeah.
as always. I'm
So-
very excited.
you've embraced that role.
I love it.
Yeah, do you?
So I've expanded the repertoire this year, you see, because we've gone.
Expanded beyond like
Halloumi is still banned,
the Halloum's band.
but we're going for. I've got my usual little kettle barbecue, which feeds everyone.
It's quite a lot of us.
I need to get some more charcoal, but I'll do that anyway. I digress. But I've also now got a Dometic single burner stove, which is awesome. You can win one in the current issue of Land Rover Monthly. Flick to whatever page it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. You can win a Dometic single burner. I believe it's called a Cadillac Turbo 1. It's really high quality piece of kit, and I've used it loads. I used it to do those fajitas. I've used it to cook all sorts of stuff at home because I like to cook outside when the weather's nice. If I can't be bothered to do the charcoal barbecue, spark that bad boy up. Absolutely brilliant.
That's gas.
Yeah.
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 So disposable bottle or
Yeah, little gas canisters. And it's pretty frugal on gas, actually. It's compared to some other stuff I've tried, it's pretty decent. And it's even comes in a lovely case, and it's got these wind protectors so your flame doesn't get blown out if, it's bad weather. And it's got a pot stand, which obviously I used for the fajitas. It's got a coffee, like a thing for a cafetiere that sits on the burner.
I know, nice.
It's
Fancy.
really, really nice.
How
yeah.
much are they?
I actually don't know, but that's irrelevant because you should head to the latest issue of Land Rover Monthly and go online. We'll go on landrovermonthly.co.uk, click on competitions, and you can win one.
Yeah, I won't be allowed to win one.
No, nor will I, but I don't care because I've already got one.
Yeah, I want one now.
You'll get quite a decent camping setup though for cooking.
Yes.
You've got a barbecue, folding barbecue.
A Nomadic
That's the one.
from Oak Ridge
Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cool bit of kit.
Sister company to Oak Ridge Engineering.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, that's a good setup. But obviously, you're going to be catering for a lot more people.
I am. Yeah, it'll be a production line of goodness.
Yeah. Unlike last year, it's just a production line. That's harsh.
You'll be going hungry if you carry on like that, Stevie. Let me tell you. So cheeky.
I can still, if I concentrate right, I can still taste the fumes that would elude me.
Right out loud. Well, that's your
That's
fault
like from 2 years ago.
liking substandard cheese.
Squeaky cheese.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Just horrible. But yeah, I have a little think. Sometimes something will catch my eye and I think, it looks like a cracking idea for a campsite meal. And let me tell you, fajitas are up there.
So, have you got a new campsite then?
Yeah. So, yeah, again, it's about 20 minutes from where I live. It's right out in the middle of the fens. It's actually on a flying field. The guy does paramotors. Have you seen them? Where you sit in a little seat with a fan on your back and a big thing.
So, I have a friend. In fact, right, so, do you remember the girl that works with my wife, Louise, her other half teaches that?
Does he?
Yeah. And Jessica, who has the Freelander
Yeah,
2, who had the subframe issue,
indeed.
who he hates the Freelander, by the way, she's started to go up with him in a dual
Oh, right.
two-seater type thing. And she's getting really into it.
It looks terrifying. It's not for me.
No, that's really dangerous. Well,
What I would say is the night we went camping, beautiful clear skies, amazing sunset. You could just see for miles.
yeah.
It was warm, and I thought, yeah, I can kind of see the attraction of being up in the sky, looking down and seeing everything, and nice colours and all that jazz. But yeah, hanging from a big kite with a engine and a fan strapped to my back, it's not for me.
Yeah, I think it does look quite appealing, but sometimes you get the odd person whose wing folds, and that's it.
Did you know?
It's like not an end you'd want.
Legally, you can go on Marketplace and buy one and just do it,
Yes, you can. Yeah.
which is a terrifying thought.
Yes. But
Don't do that.
no,
Definitely don't do that.
I've
That was
seen-
not a word of encouragement. That was a fact.
because I follow this guy called Will on social media, and I see him most days. He'll come up on social media, and he's flying above the clouds and he does loads of stunts with them and everything. He does up loops and all sorts. Just
Yeah.
crazy.
I'll admire that from afar, but it's,
Yeah, no, I don't think it's for me.
nah. I can just about. I'll get on a plane to go on holiday, but I want to be in something big. I'm not hanging from ropes
I
underneath.
do see the I do see the appeal. Like, 'cause quite a raw. You in the elements. It's peace.
Yeah, you're too much in the elements because if anything goes wrong, that is it.
Well, the only way is down.
Do
Isn't
you
it?
have a parachute on as
Yeah,
well?
they do have an emergency parachute.
Oh,
but
okay.
Quite often it.
We were watching this fella take off, and it literally looked like he sat in this like little plastic chair.
Well, yeah, they are. They run, don't they? And then they sort of
Yeah,
accelerate at the optimum point. But you have to be able to fly a kite essentially above your head, and that's your training. And then when you start accelerating, when you get the engine on the back, and you run, and then it sort of
yeah.
lifts. The lift is instant lift, isn't it?
It was. I've never seen it done up close. In fact, I've very.
That'd be a nice
rarely-
campsite to be at, though.
It was a nice campsite. Yeah, I would recommend it. Big Skies Camping at March, by the way. If you're out in the fens and you fancy a bit,
I'll go there.
a nice peaceful spot. It's a great place. Would recommend. I'll certainly be going back there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
each to their own. People who go on Marketplace. Can you imagine?
I just couldn't. We were speaking to the chap, lovely guy who owns it, and he was saying, because he's an instructor, and he was telling us all about it, and it was really, really nice. But yeah, when he came out and said, yeah, you can literally just buy one privately, and then just as long as you're not in restricted airspace or whatever, you can just take off. I thought, nah,
Yeah, it's like
That
5 6
should be-
grand you'd be in, wouldn't you?
that should be stopped. It's No one should do that. That's a
I
bad
don't
idea.
believe in banning anything, really.
Do you not?
No, just
Fair enough.
each to their own, you know.
I just think, no. Again, and when this chap we were watching, like I say, we were watching him, he took off and he went, gone quite a while, and then he came back and he looked like he was going to overshoot the field massively, and then he sort of drifted in, all nice, like majestic it was.
Yeah,
landed on his feet and just walked like he'd just stepped out of a cab.
And they quickly turn 180 degrees, and then it all just
Yeah,
the
it was-
wing. Yeah, I've watched quite a lot of it, actually. I shouldn't mind having a go, but do you know what though? You've got to be under a certain weight,
I was going to say, I'd have
and
to.
I might be over
You're
it.
talking about V8s.
It's about the it's about what the wing can cope with.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Plus, if you wouldn't, you'd have a go with somebody else, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
For dual, so there's a weight limit to most of these things. You and I might both be over it. So just to warn you.
Coming 6BT on the backspring in the van.
Can you imagine?
Oh
The
dear.
economical version.
I'll tell you what, actually, if you're maybe you do an unusual sport or an unusual activity with your Land Rover, like paramotoring, I think it's called.
Yes.
If you do, we have the Your Pictures section in the mag every single month. We have some great entrants. Send me a picture of what you do, what your sport you do with your Land Rover.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, you know, just to mix it up a bit.
Get a bit of, you never know. People use Land Rover. They're so versatile.
Towing a speedboat or a jet ski or...
It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Editorial at lrm.co.uk. I would, for one, love to see it. But,
Yeah, that's a good shout.
yeah, I think
Especially
so.
at the right time of year for that.
Do you know what? The Series 3, now I've changed the bumper and changed the wing and given it a little lick of paint. She looks fantastic.
And it's back, it's fixed, isn't it? The
Yeah.
gearbox.
Oh, yeah, the clutch. Yeah,
Clutch,
no,
right.
yeah.
That's fixed.
It split the cross shaft. Yeah, I did that a little while ago now. But yeah, it's really, really good.
I have a question.
Okay.
I was in my 90 on the weekend, right? And because obviously a 90 windscreen is quite flat, you get all the bugs. I'd only just had the Land Rover. I had it cleaned, not by me. No, because I've got scaffolding up and I couldn't get it on the drive. And parked it at work here, and all manner of birds decided to crap down the side.
Oh,
of it.
yeah, you didn't
So I
mention.
needed to get that off,
Bird
which
poo.
incidentally I think has damaged the paint.
Yeah,
The bird poo has damaged the paint,
not good.
which I was annoyed about. But I might better bring it back. I haven't had time to look at it. Anyway, had the Land Rover cleaned, got up the A1, and I just completely obliterated by bugs on the front.
Yeah.
What gets bugs off? Because water from your water jets doesn't get the bugs off.
Tar and insect remover, like Auto Glim, spray it on microphone.
Oh, there's a
put it
product
off.
for that, is there?
Yeah. Or, yeah, I mean, if you're washing it, you just have to scrub a bit harder, but they do bake on, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But this morning it rained on the way to work,
Mm.
and that gets rid of it instantly. But normal water doesn't. What's in rainwater?
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. So rainwater, it's only misty sort of rain this morning. Within a few swoops of it, completely cleaned the windscreen.
Maybe it's volume. Maybe it's a volume thing.
No, I could put that washer jet on. A jet wash. I could jet wash that windscreen. That will not get rid of those bakes on bugs. But rainwater does. There must be something in natural rainwater.
That's very odd. Oh, you've got a nice Optimil washer jet system to fit, haven't you?
We haven't we?
No, you've got to do that. Yeah, that would be lovely. Yeah, that will shift those bugs. Decent bit of screen washing.
Yeah,
there.
probably would actually.
Oh,
To be
yes.
fair.
Now you're talking.
Because that's like that Optimal thing is a satin black one rather than
Yeah.
a gloss one.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
it looks a bit OEM plus.
bit more OEM.
Yes.
Very, very smart.
I was quite keen when I saw they'd gone from the gloss. Well, they do the gloss, so do the satin. It was banging.
Yeah, very nice.
It's fit that actually. It's one of those things you buy, don't you? Because you see it at the show, you think I'm buying that,
High flow pump.
and then you never actually
All the washer
around
jet.
to fitting it.
Yeah. You can see Optimil at LRM Live. They're going to bring their whole range and they are going to be doing some fantastic little deals. So if you want to treat your Defender to some billet aluminium goodness, come and see main sponsors Optimil at LRM Live. They would, I'm sure, very much love to see you there. And go and have a chat with Steve and Kath. Lovely, lovely people.
Yeah. In fact, Kath has just tried to ring me on the phone.
Has she?
It was ringing right next to me. Yeah.
You better ring her back,
Yeah.
Stevie.
Is that time to call it?
We'll wrap it up for
Yeah.
this week, shall we?
I think we should.
As always, thank you ever so much for listening. If you've got a question that you would like answering about your Land Rover or about Land Rovers in general, send us an email, editorial@lrm.co.uk. Follow us on the social medias. I'm Land Rover Martin. You can see all about my transfer box saga this week. So give us a little follow. And you are?
Steve Miller, Automotive.
And of course, follow Land Rover Monthly on Facebook, on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and sign up to the email newsletter because it's free and it's actually got useful information in it.
All the goodness.
All the goodness.
And on that note,
We'll see you
let's
next
get on with
week.
it. Bye for now.